We're skanking the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad when the bassline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skanking the rave.
We're skanking the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad when the bassline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skanking the rave.
We're skanking the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad when the bassline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skanking the rave.
Vibes in ting, no skanking the rave.
We're skanking the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad when the bassline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skanking the rave.
We're skanking the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad when the bassline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skanking the rave.
We're skanking the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad when the bassline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skanking the rave.
We're skanking the rave. Wrong with coke, no champs in the rave. Crowd go mad when the bassline drops. It's a vibes in ting, no skanking the rave.
Alright, so I start with this plastic boning. It's like a 1/4 inch boning. It's made to go inside of, say, like a skirt, I think, or something like that. You just get it at the craft store, sort of in their fabric section. Anyway, it's one long reel. It's very rigid. So what I do is I take it and I measure it out, just sort of eyeballing it on her head there. And then I bend kind of a, I don't know, probably a 1/2 inch channel up at the top. So a bend and a bend, that way it loops back on itself. And then just kind of eyeball it again, roughen it out, and then that's where I'm going to clip it. After that, you can see kind of I'm doing super fast motion here because it's boring and slow, but I'm taking it, finalizing the bends, and then I'm cutting out like about inch sections of this stuff using these dikes. And then I'm going to come back with these little pliers and I'm going to bend sort of like little U shapes, but with hard angles on the ends. The ends are probably only, I don't know, 1/4 inch long. The idea is I'm going to stack them in between like this right here. So I'm using my mega super hot glue gun, which is awesome. And I'm just kind of gluing all of those down along the way. And then momentarily, I'm going to take the top and I'm going to bend it back and start to kind of attach them all together. It's developing this framework, right? It's kind of this superstructure that I can glue lights to. And in between those little legs, right, that are standing up there, I'm going to be able to stick all of my electronics, stick my battery pack. I originally tried some very small batteries, but they just didn't have the kick. I ended up with some slightly larger ones. I get about 4 hours. I think, yeah, right about 4 hours now, which is pretty good for something that's going to fit in your hair. So again, you can see that everything's just hot gluing together and it's maintaining that curve, right? That curve shape to stay on our head. Just clamping it together there. That way it stays put for the most part. The glue wasn't tremendous. Like the hot glue didn't want to stick to this plastic super well, so I ended up coming back and doing like E6000 on all the little joints, but it held together long enough. I actually tried super glue as well, and super glue didn't adhere to this stuff all that well. You can also see I'm using compressed air while I'm hot gluing because I'm lazy and I don't want to sit there forever, so I cool down the hot glue a lot faster using the compressed air. Just kind of, you don't necessarily have to invert the can and squirt the liquid on there. Here's a dry fit on her head. That's how it's going to look in the end. She has got a lot of hair. Alright, so this is me sort of laying out how the lights are going to fit on here. I just cut out a few strips, these NeoPixel strips. Adafruit has them. SparkFun has them, or you can get them off of AliExpress. Really cheap as long as you're okay with waiting for it to come over from China. But they're roughly going to fit together like that. And then I'm going to solder all that mess together. I use this silicone wire. I do like using the 3 different colors. It, for the most part, is nested in her hair, so you can't really see the colors, so it's not too problematic for the most part. But on this one, I try and fit it together just about right, so it gets a little bit fiddly for the most part. A trick I've learned with these a long time ago is you use dikes, because these are the ones that have the silicone jacket that's just sort of around. It's like a tube that it fits into. So I take dikes and I slice the inside corners of this, and then I'll peel it back using some medical clamps like you see right there. That holds the silicone back, and then I'll tin the ends. So all of the 3 pads on that, I'll just tin it really quick, and then I'll put my wires in my helping hands here, and I picked these up at Harbor Freight. They're dirt cheap, especially when you get them on sale. And then I'll tin the ends of those. Then I'll take a pair of long what are those, tweezers that are kind of curved. I learned that from Ben Heck. Take those and then use those to actually do the assembly. So here's the final product. I skipped a few steps, right? You can see the boning underneath, above, the superstructure is holding nice and strong. Again, I reinforced it all. In there you can see the battery hiding, right? There's the battery got a little wide, but again, since it's fitting down in that big mass of hair she has, it hides pretty well. You can also see the battery connector right there, so I can unplug it and charge it. Hidden inside is a 5-volt regulator, so it jumps it up, and then also an Ardino in there. At the back there, I rigged a switch at the very back so that she can actually reach it fairly easily to turn it on and off. You see it going on there. It's got several light patterns. Some are more interesting than the others, kind of some swoops, down, on, off, faster, 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 and then some that go back to front, color changing. I put a little code in there so that it changes efficiently enough so it looks interesting.